Thank you for watching. This is Living with Lemons. I'm Debbie, and I'm here to update my medical journey. So, I met with my neurologist about a month ago now. A month ago? Maybe 3 weeks plus? I don't know. Timelines are funny. So, somewhere in the midst between 3 weeks ago and a month. And he had sort of gone over his first set of tests, compared them to the more recent set of tests, and tried to compare all of that information to the information submitted by the previous doctor I saw, the one who didn't know what she was talking about. And he and I talked about more recent symptoms, and then he laid a big one on me, and he asked me how I felt I was doing. And I said, I'm honestly kind of scared because I thought that I would be seeing improvement with the immunoglobulin therapy. And I've been on it all summer. Towards the end of the summer, I started having more falls and more problems with my legs not doing what my brain was telling them to do. I would, right before every fall, I had the same reoccurring problem where I thought that I was taking a step, and mentally I was taking a step, thinking that I'm lifting my feet up and moving, but my legs weren't moving with kind of the brain action. It's like the message got lost in translation somewhere, and that's been happening a lot. I've had issues more recently with swallowing. I haven't had any real choking incidences. I had a close call with a piece of gum, but that might have just been, me trying to do too many things at once and then going to talk and not thinking to swallow first. But it has been difficult. I'm noticing that certain crackers or drier foods are harder to get down without immediately following it with a drink. And most people, when you get a mouthful of food because you've stuffed it way too full, you can sit and concentrate and chew to swallow. And I started having this problem where I'm getting stuck in the chewing process. I think it's almost like the processing is just delayed and it's taking me longer to chew and swallow. And I can't do too much at once. I have to be careful. So these are subtle things you have to keep track of. You have to be mindful of small, subtle changes. Never in a million years did I ever think that muscle twitches would mean anything significant other than maybe dehydration or something. I'm not a brain doctor. I never would have known that. So anyhow, falling a lot, and the most recent scary thing is I started having difficulty unbuckling my son out of his car seat. About a month ago it started, and it's more serious now. I can't undo it. If I do, I'm making a fist and pushing with the knuckle of my middle finger and my right hand, because the pincher's here, and I guess the middle finger is still pretty strong, but my index and my right thumb are not, and it's been even more difficult for me to do that. So I noticed this change. I noticed this deterioration. I'm aware of what's going on in my body, and I suspected, in the last few months when things started getting worse, that we were heading towards a change of diagnosis. And sure enough, he is leaning towards amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, and he started me on Riluzole. I think that's the generic for a drug name I can't pronounce, but he is leaning towards ALS, and he's going to be taking me off the immunoglobulin therapy in about another 2 months, and I'll be starting a more intense infusion process. It'll be 10 days a month, the medication that they give people for ALS. And I think that its hope is to, immunoglobulin with multifocal motor neuropathy, the idea is that this infusion, this medication, slows down the process. And since immunoglobulin hasn't been doing it for me, that was kind of the dead ringer. And the fact that I've gotten worse just proves that this can't be what we had hoped and prayed all along, multifocal motor neuropathy. It has to be amyotrophic lateral sclerosis because it doesn't fit anything else. And he explained the difference between upper motor neurons and lower motor neurons. So lower motor neurons, basically lower part of your body, everything in your spine that communicates to your hands and feet, that is all lower. And upper would be the message from your brain to your spine to get things done. And I guess that's kind of where the eating and swallowing changes are also affected. And the falling, which I knew was important, didn't understand why until he explained it. That whole message not getting translated is part of an upper motor neuron issue. You won't see that in multifocal motor neuropathy. People might fall or have drop foot because of the lower motor neuron functions, but that's not what's happening with me. I am having more frequent, and it happened twice last night and twice this morning. I also wake up multiple times a night now because of this problem where I might position myself like half awake, half asleep, and then I'm struggling with breathing. Like I feel like my lungs don't have enough space to expand, tightness, and I have to maneuver myself. And that might be that my lungs are, the muscles themselves are kind of tired. So a lot of scary stuff happening, and I think I've spent the last month crying about it, which is why it took me so long to get this video out. I wanted to share with the most important people in my life first, and then share my public vlog, because my prayer is that someday this information helps somebody. I'm going to continue my fight, and I will continue to vlog and share my information. I really hope that, you are watching this and sending your best wishes and your best thoughts to me. I appreciate love and support. I appreciate people sharing my videos, although I'm very embarrassed by my inability to properly speak sometimes. It's still information that might be helpful, especially in the process of medical research. ALS does not get enough recognition. It's scary, it's brutal, and the fact that there is so little to do about it just goes to show it doesn't have enough attention, it doesn't have enough research. When you see a pink ribbon, you know that means breast cancer awareness. For me, the purple ribbons always represented awareness for domestic violence. And so many others, that recognize the need to draw attention to something that our society needs to be better at addressing. I think we could do a lot to help discover and do more research with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. And sometimes I say that wrong, but it also has a lot to do with my tongue not necessarily following along with what my brain wants to say. Anyhow, I got a lot of love, and I'm not scared. I'm gonna fight. There are people who've lived longer than 5 years. There are people who've lived longer than 10 years after diagnosis of this disease. And I plan on being one of them. I am here for the long haul, and I am not even close to intimidated by this disease. It's not gonna get me down, even if it takes my ability to stand up. And not for nothing, but I'm on Team Jesus, so we got this, okay? I'm going to keep sharing, and hopefully you guys are inspired enough to share this video so that others can be informed. Don't forget, like to support, share to inform, and subscribe to get my occasional updates and to continue to follow me on my medical journey. Thank you.